The K30 Vario, built just for the best. Malkönig, official espresso grinder sponsor of the World Barista Championship, World Latte Art Championship and World Coffee and Good Spirits Championship.
So, today we were going to be seeing a signature drink, Deconstructed. This is Fabrizio from Mexico, and he's going to be going through a signature drink that you did in 2011, Fabrizio? 12 in Vienna at the World Barista Championships in Vienna. It was going to be James Hoffman, who is to my right on this machine here. Wave to the nice people, James. But James is going to be joining us for the Knockbox News afterwards and an espresso challenge. So you're going to get a chance to taste some espressos from the Italian Barista Champion and the 2007 World Barista Champion from the United Kingdom. But you're also going to get a chance to taste this amazing signature drink. And what I'm going to be looking for is 4 volunteers to come up and judge this drink. This is a unique opportunity to taste something that only judges at World Barista Championship competitions get to taste, and it's really unique. Fabrizio finished 2nd in Vienna that year, and I think it was just because Raul paid off the judges, because Fabrizio was very popular amongst many of the judges that were there and did an amazing job. So, I'm going to be looking for some volunteers. Raise your hand if you'd like to come and join. I have a volunteer there. I have another volunteer there. One there, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to go with the lady. It's the gentleman in me. So we've got our 4 judges.
Amy? You have a second? You have a knockbox?
Oh yeah, that's not a very good knockbox, is it?
Thank you very much.
So, Fabrizio, I'm going to be that guy that annoys you while you're trying to dial in your espresso. How do you feel about signature drinks? Because I know some baristas are really passionate about signature drinks and really excited, and some really find them quite difficult. Where do you lie?
Definitely it's something that I enjoy a lot. Yeah. I think it's the opportunity for a barista to not only talk about coffee, but to mix it with some elements that he found fascinating.
Yeah.
I think there are 2 ways for the signature drinks. Either you listen of the profile of the coffee, or you just play with the contrast. Yeah. So I normally take those 2 combinations and find a way to mix with some elements for the signature drink.
Fantastic. So yes. I'll let you get your shots dialed in and get to it, and I'm going to be asking you some questions about how you put your drink together. If our other judges, if you'd like to come and join us up at the table. Who was the other judge? Lost them. Well, I tell you, sir, would you like to tell? Oh, there we go. Yes, if you'd like to come and join us, that's it. There's our 4th judge. So if you just come and join us on this far table here. And I'm going to come and ask some of our judges here what they think of signature drinks. And if have you experienced a signature drink before?
Yes, in WBC in Japan, Indonesia.
Okay, fantastic. And yourself, have you tried signature drinks before?
Not really, only in a couple of occasions when the competition was on.
Oh, okay, fantastic. And yourself, have you ever tried a signature drink before?
Not very experienced in specialty drinks, mostly espressos.
That's fantastic. Now, this is a great chance to have your first signature drink with a World Barista Championship finalist. So, and yourself, have you tried signature?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic, that's great. So, Fabrizio, you have some seasoned signature drink people here, and then some people that have not had one before.
Just 2 more minutes to be ready.
Yep,
right?
no problem at all.
Sorry.
So what Fabrizio's going to do here is create a drink using espresso.
Yes.
The only rules of the World Barista Championship are that you cannot use alcohol, and it has to include an espresso. But after that, pretty much the world is yours. You can choose what you want to do. There's been a lot of development of signature drinks in recent years where origin countries have been experimenting with other parts of the plants. And I'm noticing here that Fabrizio has something which looks rather unusual. So as a competitor of the World Barista Championships, you're expected to produce 4 espressos for the judges, 4 cappuccinos for the judges, and then 4 of these signature drinks. The barista will use the coffee that they have to try and accentuate flavors in the signature drink, as Fabrizio was saying, or to show contrast and to show the differences of the coffee. It's very important within the scoring that there's a taste of an espresso comes through in that drink as well. So Fabrizio, how are we doing? Are we nearly there?
Yeah.
Very elaborate table setting going on here.
I still have to remember step by step how was it.
Don't worry, don't worry. Well, the great thing is we can do this step by step as well, so there's no timers.
No rush.
No stars to press.
I love that.
So we can just get the camera here and we can just see we've got a bunch of ingredients. We have some chaff, which is from the waste product from the roasting. This is the silver skin that comes off during the roasting process. And something that's normally just thrown away. So I'm excited to see how this plays a part in the signature drink. And here we seem to have some dried leaves, which again, I'm very intrigued to see how these are incorporated into the drink. Now, when you're traveling to a World Barista Championship finals, quite often it's very difficult to take these ingredients with you, as we have customs laws, and not always able to take them to the countries we're going to. Also, this glassware is something that can get broken very easily during that bumpy flight on the way to these far-flung places. When Fabrizio competed in 2012, he was coming to Vienna from Mexico, which is obviously quite a flight. So,
long way.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes.
Excellent.
Let's do this.
So, what we're going to be doing today is showing these judges and the audience here kind of step by step how you put together your signature drink and what you did. And this is the exact drink from Vienna?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
I have a few problems finding the original containers.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
But yeah, pretty much the same. Actually, it's the same coffee.
Wow.
We keep almost 2 kilos on the fridge, on the freezer. Yeah. For that time, and we opened it the 12th of October, just before I came here. We still have the roast profile, so we recreate the same thing.
That's fantastic. So I was lucky enough to taste your espresso in Vienna, and was just like, oh wow, this is amazing. So that's a real treat for you guys to be able to taste the exact coffee that you used in that competition.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how you came up with this drink and what was your inspiration to make it happen?
For sure, the inspiration was the coffee, very specifically this variety, which name is Maragogipe. And it's a mutant from Brazil. And it came to Mexico somehow. It has a very good adaptation with the climate and the soil. So there's a lot of production of Maragogipe, especially in the south part of Mexico. So we try to play with that variety, which is just fascinating. I would love you to show the roasted coffee because it's so big.
Maragogipe is a coffee varietal. Just like wine, we have varieties in coffee. This is one of the varietals. It's a mutant, so as Fabrizio said, so it's just changed over time. It has a giant bean size, which makes it very unique, as our judges can see here. And if I can just get some for the camera. You can see here that they're just really large size beans, and this is just a natural mutation of the coffee plant creating this varietal. It's
And
one that I
it's
find very
actually-
interesting, as well as you're quite right in saying, like, I've seen the best interpretations of Maragogipe I've seen is Brazil and Mexico. And there's something about those climates that it just really seems to flourish.
Absolutely. And it's also a very tricky variety. It's not easy to process. That size of bean is not easy to roast, Maragogipe. Somehow it absorbs the heat very well, and you have to be very careful in order not to burn the organic properties. So we have to play a lot with that.
It also takes a little bit of skill of the barista on the grinder to get that grind just right, as the density of that bean grinds quite differently. And as you say, as a roaster, it's really important to pay extra attention as you're roasting it, because it is very, very big bean, which needs a different approach.
Yeah. Also, my reason to use this variety is because somehow producers are stopping the production of this variety because there's not enough production. They think it takes you a lot of energy of the soil, but not gives you a lot of production. So
the yield is incredibly low on this varietal.
That's the word, yeah.
And also the coffee plant is quite tall. So
everything is big in the Maragogipe.
Yeah, so it's difficult to pick. It's a very easy thing to think, but you've got to reach high, you've got to bend that tree down. And if you're doing that all day, that's hard work, isn't it?
It's a hard work, actually. Yeah.
But it's great that you're kind of promoting that, because it is a really interesting varietal. And of course, has been put together with other varietals for things like Pacamaras as well.
Yeah.
So you have the Pacas and the Maragogipe that came together. So where's this coffee from? Which region is it from?
This one is from Chiapas. It's a region called Soconusco. Actually, yesterday they were talking with Juliana about the Huehuetenango region in Guatemala.
Yeah.
So it's basically only one big river separating these two regions. So we share a lot of the same microclimates and the same conditions.
And of course, Huehuetenango is it's a well-known, world-renowned place for amazing coffee.
Coffees.
And just across the border, there's this unknown Chiapas region it doesn't get so much coverage, but obviously has very similar properties.
Yes. So this coffee is from Chiapas. It's a finca of a very good friend of our small roastery. His name is Enrique Lopez, and he has a beautiful finca called Santa Cruz. We've been working with him for probably 3 years now. And every single crop is just fantastic, better and better. He's getting really crazy about experimenting with different processes. And this coffee actually from Vienna was his first version of pulled natural.
Oh, wow.
And it was just fantastic.
It's a technique that's not very well, not done widely in Mexico, is it? Most of the coffees tend to be washed.
Fully washed, yeah.
Yes.
That's what you can find everywhere. Fully washed coffees, and in small regions also a lot of natural coffees. Okay. But mostly fully washed.
Wow, that's amazing.
So this was a lot of surprise for us. Having a Marago pulled natural process was just fantastic. Even as a green bean, that smell was just like melon and very fruity.
I'm so envious of, as a roaster, as two roasters together here as well, of the relationships you can have at Origin, because people live close and you can kind of get there much easier.
Fresh.
And you can develop things like pulp natural processing with these producers. So tell us about the drink and what you're actually going to do with these.
So, well, basically this drink was inspired on the plant, on the Maragogipe plant. And as you can see, and I bring some of the leaves, because it's just like a lettuce, very big leaves. So I'm also a big fan of tea, and what we wanted to do with this is to recreate the oolong process with the coffee leaves. So what I did was cut not the young ones, but like in the middle of the tree. We cut them, and we do some side cutting with normal scissors, just to try to work with fermentation and bacterial work. So it's very delicate. We have to play with humidity, constant humidity, and dry, and humidity again, and make them dry. So that was kind of tricky, but also very interesting to play with.
I find that very interesting about the tea part of it, and we were talking with Peter Liccardi yesterday, who created the seed drink, and he started using tea as well.
Yeah.
And he got some Earl Grey flavours,
yeah.
and so that's really interesting that you went down the tea route too. And I know that Raul and Alejandro Mendez all went down that tea element too. So that's in a signature drink, it seems to be becoming very popular to use tea type elements.
Absolutely. And so after that, when the leaf is very, very delicate and you can hand roll it, the result was something similar to this. Very similar actually to the way they roll the oolong.
Oh, okay.
So you also have to be very careful not to cut it and to have like the proper size and everything. So that's the first element, the coffee leaf. And in the other hand, we have the chaff of this coffee roasted in a sample roaster, and we try to keep the chaff. And the idea came in a very natural way. We were roasting the coffee, trying to find the proper point to the coffee, and suddenly we have the little chamber full of chaff. And I was about to drop it on the organic rubbish, but I think maybe we should do something with this in order to, you know, take care of everything and try to drink as much as possible of what the plant provides.
Do you know, again, I'm sharing lots of things because we're roasters here that I've had this thing. This is such a waste. What can I do with it?
Absolutely.
You know, it's great that you've looked at a waste product and trying to reintroduce it into
that was
useful.
like the main idea. And also, once we tried that, it was just fascinating. A lot of tamarind, slightly note of tobacco, but very fine. Of course, a lot of wood. You know, it's very present all the way. But what I was very surprised with these two elements is the texture that gives you in the mouth. So that's why I would like you to give first the elements separate, so you can try them and like have the whole picture. And after that, we will mix it with the espresso. But I would also like you to try first the espresso as it is, and then we start like mixing the three elements all together. So if you don't mind, I can start doing the infusions.
Sure.
Here.
So Fabrizio, starting to mix the elements together for this signature drink.
So of course, for the coffee leaf infusion, the water must be not that hot in order not to work hard with the leaf. It has to be like very subtle. So.
Yeah. So what you don't want to do, temperature will extract those flavors, and you don't want to extract too quickly.
Exactly.
You want to slow that down. So.
That should be right. And
so for me here, when you see this kind of thing going on, it reminds me very much of a cocktail, using those elements of, you know, taking the basic ingredients and bringing things together.
I already have the chaff in here. All right. So for the chaff, it's also very important to mix it, to do a little bit of turbulence in order to make sure that all particles are completely wet. Otherwise, it kind of makes grumps and stick together.
So Fabrizio stirring that so it doesn't all clump together, doesn't stick together, doesn't become this big congealed mess which chaff can when it's wet.
This is really fascinating. If you can have a quick nose smell. What you can find in the nose, it's also very present in the cup. Yeah. All these fine cedars and like tobacco leaves, and also it's going to be a slightly hint of tamarind in the cup also. All right. And being such a delicate particle, it doesn't need too much time of extraction. You know, just 1 minute and should be all right.
So Fabrizio's filtering the chaff now using a portafilter.
Yeah, I forgot my original filter, so.
Yeah.
So normally you don't use the portafilter?
No, we use you know, a regular filter, but this might take.
Yeah, within competition, I'm sure there's something that technically you wouldn't really want to be doing because of using the machine to pull the shots. But for these purposes, it's fine. It's a good way of using what we have.
Probably I will change it for the double size. That will make it faster.
There's barista competitions quite often. There's this thing where baristas will wear coffee T-shirts, so they get from people. It's like, why even? Well, all my luggage was things I was bringing with me. You know, I had to bring a filter and I had to bring cups and glasses and.
But now that you mentioned, we didn't have any problems with these ingredients.
Yes.
Because they both are already processed, so
yeah.
No fresh fruits, no fresh elements. So. Okay, yes. So the dynamic is going to be very simple. I will recommend you to start first with the coffee leaf infusion. Try to have it in the mouth for 5 seconds, play with it. You will have a very nice texture. The profile of the leaf, it's like a slightly hint of vanilla. Of course, a lot of herbal notes will come in the front. But what's really amazing, and as you can see, it starts to expand the leaf, just like the oolong happened. You will have a lot of texture in the mouth. It's very velvety. It's just, all right, this is ready.
So Fabrizio was explaining here that this is like an oolong kind of a leaf from this coffee leaf that's been dried, but it looks a little bit like the oolong as it starts to open up as it would with a oolong tea.
And I also kind of play with the container for each element.
Yeah.
Of course, for the chaff, we wanted to keep it in the same line. So that's why I use wooden glasses or wooden containers to help this profile enhance a little bit more. So that would be for the ladies.
So the vessel that a drink's served in is really important to how the drink's going to taste, isn't it, Fabrizio? It's going to give you not just the mind, but also the taste and the shape and how quickly it cools and things like that.
And for the coffee leaf infusion, it's also nice to have just a crystal clean glass in order to don't bother the subtle and delicate profile of the leaf. So what I'm going to ask you is to first try these two elements separate, starting with the coffee leaf infusion, and then I will mix with the rest. I will mix the tree with the espresso in order to have a complete experience. So if you can start with this while I prepare the espressos and come back with you.
So, Fabrizio, I missed that part then. Do they try the drink? Do they try that drink there, or do they wait until the espresso comes?
No, they start with these two elements. What I wanted to is for them to try them separately.
Yeah.
First, to have the whole picture of what I was trying to experience.
Yeah.
And after that, I'll bring the espressos and we mix three elements together.
Oh, okay, right. So that's really good if you want to use espressos. That's really good that Fabrizio's letting them taste the separate ingredients before mixing the drink together. I know something that I would love to try is just those little ingredients. You know, it kind of gets you excited about what's to come with the signature drink. So, what did you think of the chaff one?
It was very light.
Yes.
But also slightly complex, but very very pleasant to taste.
And the leaf, how did that? The tea.
It was very similar to the aroma.
Yeah.
But just a lighter taste.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's great. Did you enjoy both of those? Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you, did you like that?
Yeah,
is it the first time you've drank chaff?
Yes, indeed.
And how was the leaf one? How did you think?
It's incredible, nice.
Yeah.
The taste is, I can feel the little bit fizzy.
Yeah.
Like more like Japanese tea.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Fantastic.
It's nice, fantastic. And then for the aroma of the skin of the coffee,
Yeah.
it's really complex and it's a perfect chai, I think.
Wow, that's great.
For the drinks. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so what I'm going to ask you to do is to stir the espresso with the spoon that you have in front of you. Try to give a quick smell of the cup. Don't drink it yet. And what I'm going to do is just to add a little bit of each element. And I'm going to ask you to stir again. And the result in the nose, if you start with that, it will be very different. A lot of flowers will come up. Like rose.
This was your signature drink?
Pretty much. Yes. So if you can stir again, and then you can have a regular sip, let's say. Temperature will be very subtle for your palate as well. So for me, I think, of course, it's important to try them separately, but it also works well together with the espresso. You can still have a lot of presence of coffee, but the aftertaste is very fresh. A lot of aromas of flowers. So it kind of get along very well, these three elements for me.
Is there a temptation when you put those drinks down to go, time?
It is actually.
Yeah.
No, what is it possible for me to try?
Yeah, sure.
So it gives you, yeah.
Wow,
Pretty
I mean
much
that had such complexity to it. There's like,
Yeah.
I was expecting like the chaff to be very dominant, but it's really not, is it? It's very light, and the espresso kind of comes through very
comes through.
clearly
Absolutely.
from the elements.
Sorry, are these beans all from Mexico?
Yeah, it's actually one single
Single
origin,
origin,
one
okay.
variety, same area. Chiapas, exactly. Yeah.
So judges, what did we think to the drink?
It was the back palate was kind of
You wanna try?
astringent, but at the same time very pleasant.
Yes, yeah, no, I definitely get that dryness. It very much
Sure.
dries out the mouth, but in a really pleasant way. And I think that must be the chaff element. Would you say that he's like making that dry finish to it, which is really pleasing.
Yeah, not a complete bouquet of flavors, but just very light and balanced.
Fantastic. Did you enjoy the drink?
It was a very elegant drink.
Yeah, very elegant. I like that descriptor. That works for me too. And did you enjoy it?
Yes, I was really impressed with the freshness, the aftertaste. It really surprised me.
Fantastic. And yourself, was that good?
It's perfect for an espresso.
Yeah.
Combined with all of that, I feel the body of the coffee is really nice in the mouth. Feelings all of the tongue and everything in my mouth I can't imagine can be like this. It's so perfect.
And I think the thing that's sad for me when a signature drink, you don't taste the coffee, but it's very clearly the coffee's powering through there, and he's the more kind of the dominant one, but still in balance with these other elements that have been added. Listen, can we have a round of applause, please, for our judges? Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming up here, and I hope you enjoyed the experience. Fabrizio, come join me on the sofa for a few moments.
Thank you.